First, I suppose I should introduce myself because I know Hader gets very anxious when I don't. I'm Joe, one of the community managers, and I'll let the other guys throw in as well.
Yeah, and I'm sure you know me and Joe as other Power Rangers of L1X. So I'm Sam, the other community manager.
And everybody knows Red, absolutely. He can be the Red Power Ranger. Straight off the bat, Walker. I was
Yeah.
going to say, Walker, I was going to get you up here.
But yeah, there we go. I'd be the Red Power Ranger and another community manager and admin within the Discord and group.
Excellent. We're nailing this already. We've got introductions out of the way, so that's an excellent start. I imagine James will jump on at some stage as well, and I'll get him to introduce himself when he actually gets up here. For all of you that don't know, he's the guy that's in the background that makes all the videos actually work. So basically what I'm saying is if you can't hear us, blame James. And here he is, speaking of the devil, here he is now. James?
Hello.
Okay, great. Okay, great. So I think
I'm the pink Power Ranger.
There we go, pink Power Ranger. Perfect.
Yep. And yeah, I do the creative stuff. You're welcome.
So you're the guy with the crayons, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome.
We've now got Grover as well, and I'm just wondering, Grover, are you up here to let us know what color Power Ranger you are?
Oh, I must be one of them. I don't know, the blue one. I'm Grover. You guys might know me on the chats. I'm one of the mods.
Excellent. Yeah, I always find it's sort of like as we go through the knowledge levels of deep dive, it sort of starts with Kevin, then Matthew tries to analyze, and then if I can't work out what Matthew's saying, we go to Grover so he can make it simple. It just keeps going down. Obviously, Crypto Psycho's in that same level as well. Let's kick off with stuff we've got going on, and then we can deep dive into community questions and stuff. So obviously, we've still got plenty of comps running. You have a Galaxy. The Gleam is still hanging on there for a couple more days. I know the dates on it were a little bit before, but it's extended out just a touch to coincide as well with our invite comp, which I hope you've all seen so far in the, if you haven't found it yet, there's a whole channel dedicated for our invite comp where you can get yourself your own little tag, and it's, like I said, for the first time, you can win yourself some L1X merch, which is very exciting because everybody wants the juicy t-shirt, as Sam describes it. So we still have all of those running as well. We obviously have our 10,000 L1X contribution competition as well. And the 5% bonus for any contribution as well. So we do have heaps of stuff currently running. Have I missed anything? That's everything.
Yep, I think that's everything.
Perfect. And then just as a quick recap from yesterday, obviously we had the AMA space with the guys, Mike and Matthew over in Singapore. And aside from it being very loud and crazy in the background, it sounded like they were absolutely crushing it over there. Lots of people talking to them, lots of people interested in the tech and what's coming up. And obviously that's massive because, as I say sometimes, I think we're in our own little bubble where, we all know that it's great. We all understand how game-changing it is, but we need to now get that out to the bigger audience as well so everybody else also understands how good it is. And it's very, I think, refreshing to have other people from outside of our own little world where we all get it already, really valuing what it's bringing to the table as well. So really good to hear from the guys over there of what they've got going on and how many people are wanting to be involved. I think that was excellent. Did anybody else have any points from yesterday they want to throw out there? So it's not just me talking at everybody.
Yeah, I think absolute props to the guys because they were cramped in a corridor to attend the space and give us basically a little bits of alphas here and there. So I think I'll just recap a bit of what Matthew and Mike said, our favorite Power Rangers in the event. So they mentioned that they attended the speaking sessions of DeFi, TradeFi, tokenization of assets, and more importantly, the interoperability speaking sessions because that's our area. And Mike also mentioned that he was talking to a few chains that we aren't interoperable with yet. So those would be, let's say, Tron. I know some of you guys are really excited about Ripple. So yes, we were also. So Matthew was also able to talk with those guys. And I think regarding partnerships and stuff like that, everyone knows the capabilities of L1X. So yeah, so that's a bit of update. Of course, there was a lot of noise, so we didn't have a lot of time on our hands. But yeah, those are the bits.
Yeah, as I said, it was awesome to have it on here just for that bit of time that they had, and I'm sure at the end of this week we'll have plenty more stuff to recap with them as well. But let's dive in. As I said, this AMA is more based at you guys as the AMA. I suppose getting some of the information like we do from week to week to keep our community growing, keep it building, and keep it in the fashion that you guys want to see it as well. Because that's obviously one of the most important things. If you want to be invested in a community more than just from a contribution point of view, you want to actually find something you enjoy being a part of. Obviously, you want it to be something that you're in line with. So we've got some questions to ask to make sure that everybody can contribute, we can get the feedback that we need, and keep building in the right direction for you guys to continue to want to participate. So we've just written down some questions, and by all means, this is open slather. So if you've got other stuff you want to add in as well, by all means do so. But we'll start with number one, which was what resource material does the community need? So what do you guys need to better understand the mission of L1X? So like, I think we see plenty of stuff. We've got plenty of videos and things out there, but is there anything specifically that you guys can think of that you need, that you go, wow, that'd be great if I could share that with friends. That'd be great if I had this, then I'd be able to help other people understand better, or anything like that. Feel free to
Yeah,
throw.
I think this goes without. Yeah, this goes without saying that there's no right or wrong answer. So please don't hesitate to share what do you think with us. Also, please don't shy to basically jump on the stage. I think I saw Chief somewhere around here. Maybe he can jump up. Oh,
To a different Chief. All right, it's Chief. How's your audio today, Chief?
can't get it working.
That good, hey? No, non-existent.
Yeah, I guess until the time we wait for Chief, we can go over the question. So, are there any materials or resources that you guys would need from us? So, any sort of, let's say, document or stuff like that, more Twitter threads, more AMAs, stuff like that for, let's say, to help you better understand the mission of L1X.
Yeah, hi everyone. I think look, we've had some community members. I think Jake actually sent us and pulled it from the white paper through his extensive reading, and things like that are actually really good. It's about that people understand. So anybody that wants to put stuff together, send it through to us. We'll have a look, and your contribution might be used.
I think that's definitely a good point. Like I said, well, as Chief said as well, yeah, if you've got something you think's been really helpful, that doesn't mean that we also can't reshare it as a team from the L1X side as well, like on the Twitter, or whether that's pushing out through any of the other mediums to help our community understand better, or help your communities understand better as well. So that's definitely a great point. How's things going over there on day two, Chief? Are you in a position to chat?
Yeah, I've got myself into a really quiet corner, so yeah, I can chat for probably a couple of minutes. So, yep.
Audio is a lot better today, so we'll just hand straight over while you got that time. Can you give us a quick rundown? How's everything going?
Oh, it's beyond flat out. I mean, the conversations we had yesterday, Spark and I were jumping between booths, talking to people. We were trying to cut short time that we're talking to some of them. Yeah, we had a couple of them where we were going in front of them and going, oh, okay, yeah. They just didn't get it. So we moved on from them very quickly, but it also taught us something really important, that we, when we're talking to, chains and projects, things like that, it's a matter of focusing on what their problems are, rather than talking about L1X first. So we're now talking with them about what problems they're experiencing in their project, their protocol, and probably the biggest one that keeps coming up. Who would have thought? It's interoperability. When we listen to that and we start hearing that they can't go cross chain, or their users have to go through bridges. I mean, that just stands out to us as to anybody really, that interoperability is the key.
Definitely, I think we all know that, and it's like the old, the good old sales adage: you got to give before you can get. And I think it's hearing out those problems and hearing the pain points for other people, then it's easier to sort of slot something in from our end and say, yeah, look, we can do this. That makes perfect sense. How is the reception outside of that? Obviously, it's very positive for that interoperability. How's the connections going? How's the reception? Is there anything you see that we can, or that you guys can take out of there that'll be really fruitful for the future?
Yeah, exposure. And I have to apologise, using the word interoperability, we should be using crosstalk, that ability to go cross-chain. It's, yeah. And look, the key is getting the word out there. The biggest thing we have is when we're out there talking about it, it's really, at the moment, Spark and I that are out there talking around the world. We need all of our community to do the same. Go and tell the world about Layer 1X and what we're doing, what we have achieved. It is monumental to I can't describe it in any other word. It's just, the community's input on how we get the name out there is key.
Absolutely. I think that's it. The more we can get it out there, the more people that are seeing it and the more people that it's in front of. Is there anything, yeah, this is obviously a very random pointing question. Is there anything that we can do from our end, obviously on here on the Discord Live? Is there something we can share from you guys being over there to help get the word out that you guys are there? Is there any way that we can help you guys where you currently are?
You can tell people to connect with us on whether it's on Discord or on Twitter. Try and hunt us down. There might be a free T-shirt in it for them. I'm carrying around a bag at the moment which has got a few T-shirts in it. So just get that exposure. The name, the logo, what we're doing. Let's just do everything we can to get the name out.
How are the T-shirt hunters going? Have you been roped into a couple of selfies?
Yeah, there's been a couple. Yes, indeed. There's a group over here at the moment of about, I think it's about 180, 200 odd Australians. They're obviously, the Telegram group for that, it was going off like you wouldn't believe yesterday and last night, people going out to the after parties and stuff like that. We went to one which is for a gaming group. That was, pretty interesting, some good conversations there. And we got some more today. We actually found, looking through the map, there's a couple of areas that we didn't cover. So Spark and I are hitting that first thing now. And yeah, it's going really well. It's just starting to get the reception of the name out there even more. It's just exciting for us when we're standing in front of people, we're talking to them, and you watch that realization come across their face about, you guys have actually solved this. Wow, it's just that wow moment that you keep hearing. We describe it another way, but not just wow. It's the OF moment.
Yeah, the PG.
Sorry, Chief, I am sure you don't have a lot of time on your hands because you are cramped in a corridor, of course. But I guess last follow-up question would be, what is the reaction of people when they see you carrying a 120 long page white paper?
It can be a little bit overwhelming, but what we do is tell them to have a read through it, understand it, but also go to the sections that are relevant to your particular project or your protocol. And yes, we have talked to a number of layer 1s and 2s, and those guys are pretty excited when they actually realize that we're actually not competing with them, we're uniting them, and we're opening up the TVL across their chain to all the other chains that we're connected to. When they realize that, it's actually pretty big in their expressions.
Just as a random question, as a follow-on from that, how do you lead into a conversation with another layer 1? Because as you said, I think when anybody thinks of a layer 1 versus a layer 1, it's always in a competitive vein. How do you approach that so that it's not, their defenses straight up where it's, Ethereum versus, Solana or anything like that? How do you make it so that you can actually broach that conversation to get them on the friendly page to get past the gatekeeper, I suppose?
Yeah, look, that's actually really good question, Matt. I think you just touched on something really important. When we go there, it's you start off obviously with a smile, introduce yourself. You go, look, this is L1X. We're just want to have a talk about some ideas that might benefit you and your chain and your projects. And they go, oh, okay. Because initially, the very first response, the moment you start talking about another layer 1. Is that they're slightly defensive, but the moment they understand, those defenses just drop. they really drop very visibly, and they start asking the questions. So how does it work? And then you see the smile come on Spark's face, and he starts talking about it. It's actually quite good to get some watch that. Just seeing their defensive drop, they become more engaging. They start asking more questions, and you see them, their face will get down a little bit, and they go, "Oh yes, but what about this? Oh yeah, okay." We had some guy yesterday asking about NFTs and what happens if if a network goes down in between you've got NFTs on multiple market places on different chains. What happens if one of those networks goes down? Well, we can't fix that network. What we can do though is built into the protocol. Kevin obviously and the team have allowed for that, where the smart contract won't complete the execution until it's able to be burnt on the other chains before it's issued to the new owner, the NFTs. So they're really easy questions to answer. And just seeing their reaction to it, it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And just seeing that it makes sense. This is what we need, that true uniting of the chains.
Definitely, and I think we all believe that's the next step forward. That's sort of why we're here. How we progress from this point to the borderless economy, so to speak. That makes perfect sense. I suppose.
Just add one thing. This AMO is not about Spark or us, so I want to hand it over to those the ones you're bringing up on stage rather than Spark and I and the others. So please bring everybody up.
Yeah, absolutely. Any closing statements from your end, so that you can just slip out and get back to whatever it is you're doing over there whenever you need to. Any wrap up from you?
It's going to be a full-on day again. And just let guys know, we don't stop. Somebody asked a question on Discord last night about, what are we doing and where are we going for dinner and all those sort of things. I think it was Swaggy. And to give you an idea, our schedule today, we're obviously at Token 2049 again for the day. We'll come back. We'll probably grab a shower on that because it's quite humid. We're then going out to a VC event, and we'll probably be there for a couple of hours. Then we've got to race back to the hotel, pick up our bags and head straight to the airport because we're heading off to Dubai probably about 1 o'clock in the morning. So our sleep tonight is going to be on a flight. So, but please, to all our community, get out there, start pushing it and promoting it. Get onto Twitter. Just get out there on social media overall. Whether it's LinkedIn, like I said, Twitter, across Medium, across Telegram, across all those groups, just promote.
Absolutely, that's perfect. And I think I don't know whether you should be sleeping on the plane, Chief. You have an opportunity there for several hours with two people either side that cannot escape you. It's almost the ultimate opportunity for you to drill into them that they need to be a part of L1X community in the old flying tin can. All right, cool. So we'll let Chief get back to it, but we do have, as I said, some community questions which are going to be very very boring if we don't have any community to answer them. So looping right back around, any materials, resources you guys need to make it a bit easier. Just as an idea, just because I realize some of these questions will require a little bit of thinking about. Do you want us just to post all these questions in the chat side so you can see them all and then start to mull them over a little bit? And that way you can sort of jump up on stage to say your bit about any one of them. Would that be easier if you can throw some ones or a thumb or something in the thing so I can get some feedback?
Yeah, it's always good to... Yeah. Go ahead.
So, please post the questions up in the chat, and if we don't get to them, because we're flat out, I'm flat to walk out to one area. So just post them up there. We will get to them. If Spark and I can't answer them in the team can. So yeah.
All right, awesome. Let's I see we've got LMFG. Yeah, stage is yours, LMFG. Just do a sound check. I can't hear anything yet. Can anybody else hear anything? It's just silent on my end.
Nope. I think we can't hear him over his Harley Davidson, probably. That might be the case.
Just give a moment for him to sort out his soundings. Like I said, I'll throw these questions in the chat, so that way if you've got, I see Red's already half on it. I'll just put them all there, and that way you can answer it as you please. So if there's one there particularly you think you can answer, that way you can jump up and we can sort of just go through these. Like I said, if there's anything you want to write back to, you're not too comfortable jumping up on the stage, we can always read back what you write into the chat as well. Yeah, cool.
So I think in the meantime, I'll just answer one question. Someone asked, Gary G, I think asked, when can we buy the t-shirts? I think the merchandise store, as Cody mentioned in one of the previous AMAs, that it should go live shortly. Of course, we don't have a timeline as of yet, but yes, it will surely go live. But then you can buy L1X t-shirts, caps, stuff like that. And who knows, maybe Power Ranger t-shirts and stuff like that also.
I think too, it was worth noting the only way currently to get any merch is to participate in the invite challenge that we have going on. That's currently the only way to get it. And it might just stay that way. That way you have to participate. No, the merch store will be later, but at the moment we only have, that's the only way to get it.
Our merch is very exclusive. This will stuff in a few years' time. Holding one of those t-shirts was going to be absolute gold, especially one of the very early t-shirts to be issued.
So should I frame it or should I sleep in it?
Oh, I'd probably frame it. You know, there's a way we can actually NFT those t-shirts as well. In the future, you might even get one that's home. Who knows what's going to become available? Just imagine, t-shirt signed by Merkle Root. Imagine t-shirt signed by Spark and myself. I think maybe mine might not be worth as much as Merkle Root, but maybe $5.
I reckon your Power Ranger suit will be worth heaps signed, Chief.
I think I'll only wear that one on special occasions.
I look forward to it. We've got I always mess up this pronunciation.
Alba. Call me Alba.
Floor is yours, Alba.
Can you hear me well?
Yep, hear you loud and clear.
All right. I just saw your questions here. That one about what are the projects that you'd like to see L1X partner with. So I would like to see this project about NFTs with some artists like music artists. I have been, reading about that, and I see it. It would be, really great to see that kind of projects in L1X. So just wondering how can it be possible? Like, how does it work in the talking about technical stuff? Like, what do we need to do in order to get that kind of project, or are the partners that we have to be with just to get that kind of project in all projects? That's my question. Bye.
Yeah. I can answer that one to you, Alberta. We actually caught up with, when we did our trip through the US, we actually got invited up to a hip-hop studio in Los Angeles, and Spark and I spent the day there. And that was actually one that, we're exploring that and a number of others around creating not just music on L1X as a project, but it's also look at things like the metaverse, about how we can do online events. Introducing things in the future like virtual reality events, where people can interact with the stars themselves. There's all sorts of possible things coming up. Again, it's just a matter of who we partner with for those projects, finding the right ones that you get the right exposure, the ones that are actually being backed by the music stars themselves.
Oh, cool. Great to hear that. That's my question. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And thanks for jumping up. LMFG, can you hear us now? I know you tried to get up before. I don't know if I see your mic on.
Yeah, I can't hear him as well.
Yes, so still nothing from this end. Good sir, I still can't hear anything.
Maybe just type the question in chat.
Or maybe answer the questions in the chat.
Yeah.
Whatever you prefer.
I see Walker will be getting a Lambo with the L1X wrap merchandise on it.
Wouldn't that be a dream?
I think just on the previous question as well, it's worth to note, if you guys do have any protocols or any projects that you discussed with, or the founders or anything, and you want to see them on L1X, and obviously they haven't been introduced to it yet, or they're curious about it, or not even curious about it yet, reach out to us, reach out to the founders, get us to have a chat with them. we can help educate them and push them in the right direction as well to be able to understand the tech a little better at the very least and how to then integrate it the very best. So it's I think it's as Chief said, the more everybody gets out there and gets involved, the easier this becomes. The more people we get on the front line helping, because it is absolutely a community based blockchain, and the more of you that are out there doing stuff, the bigger our reach will be. Transaction fee is said to be. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I think the best way to get the word out would be the Twitter. So it doesn't matter how many followers you have. It doesn't need to be 10,000 followers to make noise. So all you have to do is post. If you are really interested in L1X and you want your friends to know, just post a little bit, a few things about, let's say L1X does this, and yeah, that will definitely pick it up if enough people are making noise.
A
Don't
question
forget when you're doing
Sorry,
those Twitter posts to actually not just make a post, but tag others in it. Tag whether it's an influencer, whether it's a protocol, whether it's leaders across some of those other chains and projects. Just get their attention to it.
We do have a question for you, Chief, from the community. Are there any plans to be a speaker at the next Token 2049 in Dubai next April? Obviously, we're still a little way away from that, but it'd be good to get the word out there and let the world know about L1X. Are there any plans for that?
Those we're having some discussions around that and seeing what we can achieve in a number of events around the world. Dubai being one of them, and there's other events coming up that we're looking at as well. Not just attending, but getting up there and really, who knows, getting up there on one of the speaker stages and challenging those other leaders, shall we say, in that area.
Awesome, that's good to hear. We see you guys out there doing everything already on the forefront or tip of the spear, as I say. So really good to hear there's more of it. What am I looking at here? Oh, for this event, yes. Do L1X get to talk at this event or just walk around meeting everybody? For this one, I believe is just meeting everybody and occasionally crouching in corners and corridors so they can speak to us, the community. But yeah, as Chief was saying earlier, they're doing a lot of meeting and greeting with all the other different protocols that are around the place, and not so much a speaking involvement for this one. You just read through.
That's correct, yeah. It takes a lot to actually get set up and not just sponsor an event, but also to setting up a booth and manning it all and taking all the the merch and the logos and all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of work to do there. And it's the sort of thing that we'll do as we progress forward.
Absolutely, and we're looking forward to that. Like I said, I think everybody's looking forward to the wrap up from when you guys get back from being away. I know Dubai is next on the stop, and you've got a big plane trip ahead as well. I think we've lost most of our questions along the way. But yeah, is there any from community, any feedback or any thoughts you guys want to put out there in the time being, or even from from the mod team, from the comp team, Grobo, Red, Sam, James? Around anything we want to improve on, want to push forward? Do you have initiatives you guys are thinking about? By all means, throw it up. Like I said, it's the more feedback we can get from you guys, the better it is. Any thoughts that come to mind?
Yeah, and as I previously mentioned, there are no right or wrong answers. So please don't shy away to speak, to either come up on stage, or you can also type your answers in the chat if you're an introvert like me.
Don't drop out. Internet, come on.
Yeah, internet, come on, connect.
We can hear you. I can hear you anyway.
There I am. So sorry, I got crappy internet here out in the bush. So if I drop out, sorry.
So it's just going to be you yelling at the phone there for a second. This is going to be very entertaining.
I just wanted to mention that although a lot of the things that we talk about, which are the interoperability, the X talk, and so many things like that are brilliant. There are so many other things that are overlooked with the L1X ecosystem that make it really a winner. I mean, like even things just as simple as having such a small block size make a huge difference. So one of the things I am trying to do is bring them to the forefront, because they are things that you can talk to people about and go, well, hey, this is something that's a great thing about L1X. Not just interoperability, not just the major draw cards, but these things also are very important and brilliant things.
I suppose a question for you just off that. You talk about the block size. being smaller. For a layman, why would that be important?
Well, the block size is basically is predominantly the transaction details, right? The smaller that is, that means that more information on the smart contract can be in there. So the smart contract can do so much more without having to have more smart contracts to make it do things. So by doing that, you can have one smart contract that does the things that 2 or 3 or 4 can do, just because the block size isn't taking up all of the information.
And Grover, just to add to that as well, when we're talking to others, projects, etc., it's when we talk about crosstalk, the other add-on to that obviously is the ability to exchange that logic, and people start seeing those the potential use cases across being able to send logic as well as when that smart contract is executed. It just makes a big difference, and that's when they start thinking. You see their mind at work, in particular around their individual project, and we start seeing more questions coming around that as well.
One of the other things I brought up is the data pruning that L1X does. That's something that is unique to L1X. There's so much data in a block in a whole transaction that once the transaction's done, it never gets used again. And the L1X chain prunes all of that information, gets rid of it because it's no longer needed, it's useless, and it's just.
Well, I think we've experienced the drop out of service that Grover was speaking about before. I'm sure he'll be back.
I think it's. Yeah, and he's raised a good point. The data pruning actually makes a big difference. In reducing the amount of data stored. It's just such a good feature, and it also is good that Grove, you've been doing some reading. That's actually really appreciate that.
As I said before, I think Grove is so onto it, and I know being one of our mods, the different style of answer that everybody gets when Grover's in there is excellent. It's an in-depth technical response most of the time to even some of the most basic questions, which I absolutely love. It takes you on a real journey.
Yeah, I am well known for my Grover's walls of text. I've got to break them down into smaller nuggets, I think.
We were getting everything the other day. We were getting raps. We were getting L1X songs. We had everything. It was good. I was into it. I was here for it.
And as I mentioned before, and you I think it was you, Jorinto, that asked the question about what can the community do, or somebody posted up there. That's where you can actually really help is read through some of those the posts and the documents that we put out there, and give us your interpretation of it. And it's okay to be wrong. If you the way you've interpreted is wrong, it actually helps us because it means that we need to maybe change our wording and bring it down to a level that people understand, or maybe 2 versions of it. One is the in-depth technical, and believe me, we've got some of the most in-depth technical. All we do is look at our white paper. It's phenomenal, but we need to have that in layman terms as well, that people can understand about the potential and the use cases and where we're taking L1X.
It's definitely, there's so much to understand, and even I got an AI to read out the just the abstract from the white paper yesterday, and it still took 6 minutes for an AI to read it at 15% faster talk speed than normal. So that just gives you an idea of, I suppose, the density of the white paper and the detail inside of it as well.
Absolutely. And then we've got Crypto Psycho, big call out to him. He's been reading through the white paper and putting up there on YouTube. Huge effort. So hats off to him. I think it's definitely earned him a t-shirt, definitely.
To go way back in the chat, Albert said something about the game I'm making. So it's purely a community game, and I'll be waiting, obviously, until our block explorer is ready. But it becomes more of a puzzle, sort of a treasure. Sorry, go on, Grover.
Oh, hang on, got a bit of an internet problem.
Can hear you just fine on this end.
Okay, I'm back. I was just saying, I still reckon we need to have smart coffee cups for all the devs, so that they can have a smart coffee cup that's also a light node.
That's genius. Send straight to Kevin. LMFG, I see your mic is now muted. Is it working now? Still can't hear it.
Classic mic problem.
Okay. All right, awesome. In relation to my previous question, Chief, is there a requirement by an event like 2049 for a project to be live on mainnet before we can speak? Just curious as to how they feel to the major speakers.
No, I don't believe there is. It just comes down to how much money you pay them to, as a sponsor.
Yeah, makes sense. That's it, I suppose. One of the things from if you're not into like in the events section is that obviously the event costs money, the venue costs money. I suppose everything has to operate, has to be paid for. It makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I've got to say, here in Singapore, they are so set up for events. It's actually quite astounding the capabilities that Singapore brings to that to the events market. It's a beautiful city. It's just such a good event that they've got running here.
I think that's it. Everybody always talks about the level of technology in Singapore, right? Now, what better place to hold something that's on the cutting edge of technology in terms of the blockchain conferences? I definitely think that it's the right place for it. So a question from Walker, any particular big speakers that you've listened to at the event that they've said like Binance CEO? I don't know if that topic's, if we're allowed that topic with what's going on with Binance at the moment, but yeah, any other big speakers notably that you've seen so far at the event?
Yeah, there's been a couple. Probably don't have time at the moment to go through them, but Spark and I are going to be listening to two in particular today that we've got earmarked to have a listen to. Most of yesterday was spent talking to projects, protocols, and things, but it's a matter of just finding that little bit of time to jump in there and have a listen to the speakers. But more importance to us is actually getting out there and talking to the various teams.
Yeah, definitely. I think that obviously the main focus, as we discussed before, is you guys being over there and making those networks and everything like that. So maybe not necessarily watching too many speakers, but it's great to hear you guys are out there and obviously getting the learning journey as well as getting the interaction.
Yep. I'll tell you what is amazing. As soon as we walked into the event yesterday, within the first 10 minutes, I had three different people come up to me to introduce themselves that we've been talking to that obviously recognised us, and that was actually quite huge. That just, hang on, they just come straight up and said, Mike, this is, it's quite amazing that you come to another city around the world and people just recognise you, and it's not about being a celebrity or anything. It's none of that. It's about that our exposure is starting to get out there, that these projects and things start knowing us and knowing what we're doing, and they want to be involved.
I know, obviously, you guys are well recognised because you're on the lives and your faces are out there. I just want to know, the main question I have is, do you think James would have to wear his hoodie out in public for people to recognise him?
100%. Yeah, James, definitely, mate. Get that hoodie. Well, maybe we'll even find a cap for you at one stage that you can wear under it.
Haha. Haha.
I did all that baiting and that's all I get. Just a ha-ha.
Yep.
I don't
Sorry.
know. Yeah. Come on, James.
You guys and your Woody nonsense. I don't appreciate it. These guys are bullies behind the scenes.
That's all I've got. It's the only thing I've got. You're too useful on every other front.
I think we'll find you a hat, James.
Yes, please. Thank you. I've actually got the L1X t-shirt here that Joe doesn't have.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, maybe I'll start wearing that. Maybe.
No, you don't have a t-shirt.
No t-shirt.
Oh,
Man, I'm just here.
I think I got three.
That's what I was saying to Matthew before. I was like, I was weighing up whether I fly to Singapore just to get a t-shirt. Yeah. He was still up.
So it sounds like we need to have a competition where people can maybe earn a t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm not a big...
That could be a big...
The community might hate me for this, but I'm not a big fan of having a store. I think it should be like diamonds, right? Like you got to go hunt for the merch. You don't just get it from paying with fiat or crypto or something like that. But that's my opinion.
Could be like that geotagging. It's like there's a tree somewhere in the world, and if you find it inside the tree, there's a t-shirt.
We'll make you work for them first before there's a store, that's for sure. I mean, I know I will.
I will. And what about those exclusive t-shirts that may well be signed?
I need my shirt. I've got to promo it out here in the bush.
Sorry about it, Grover. No t-shirts.
Come on, I've got all these bush hicks that need to know about DeFi and how good L1X is.
So I'm saying it'd be geotagged in a tree. It could be any one of the trees from the border to where you are.
I think while I'm unmuted and not scheduling posts, it's good and all to like hear what we think we should do, but also what we're doing wrong. So just like DM or even put it in the community. I mean, we're not shy. I want to know specifically with socials, because that's sort of where I'm focusing on predominantly is what's wrong with it, where there's content that is like, okay, this is shit, like this is not doing anything for me. So yeah, it'd be sick if you could maybe DM me, give me some feedback, so we can improve that area, because that would be cool.
To echo that, I think it's important that we do get that, because sometimes you're scrolling in your social medias or anything, and you see advertisement and you just think that, oh, that's disappointing. And I guess when you're spending a lot of time putting something together, you don't get that feedback, because obviously the people that think, oh, that's no good, then obviously they don't click through those links. So if you guys see anything like that where you just think that could have been better, or maybe that it could have been executed better or anything, like we said, we're absolutely open to feedback on any of the above, because it just makes us be better, which in turn is then better for you guys as the community and better for us as the people trying to facilitate that as well. So just to echo what James said, don't be shy. Even if you want to DM it, if you don't want to be savage in public, that's okay. We realize that feedback comes from a place of love. You just want it to be better generally. I would love to have a PowerPoint to share with the Ohio Blockchain Council. James?
I think we're working on some pitch decks and stuff. I might handle that to Chief. It might be even an L question.
Yeah, we've been working through a number of updates for those pitch decks. We've got some, we're just waiting on those to be updated and the graphics to be finalised, and we should be able to share those across. It's always good to not just share a pitch deck, but it's also good to arrange a conversation with them where we can actually discuss and understand their problems. As I said before, that's one thing that we've realised, is that it's not just about telling the world about L1X, it's understanding what problems that they have or what problems they're trying to solve. And then we can focus that conversation particularly around them. We can tailor the conversation, whether it's around NFTs or around, any other aspect of it, that interoperability, the crosstalk, what that particular project or chain is looking for.
Yeah, I was having a conversation around this yesterday, and around reach out with KOLs, influencers and projects and whatnot. And really, the best thing is to get them on the call, make that reach and organize the meetings. And so we can do, or Chief or whoever can do some research to figure out how we can best articulate what Layer X can solve for them, because we could be sending these presentations and pitches like that, and it's like, okay, cool, yep, another project, another crypto project saying this, saying that. But when you can actually identify what their issue is and we can fix it by doing X, Y, Z, that's when the magic happens on those calls. Because people just flick through that stuff, flick through a white paper even, and it's not until you get sort of a human emotional connection that there's actually some progress there and they jump on board. So yeah, if you have people who want to hear about us, or you think we should even just approach them, give us the names and we will. If we think it's, reasonable enough, we'll set up a call and answer all of their problems. Crypto's therapists.
Albert, just to answer your question, access to a logo for advertising purposes, I believe that in the is it the gate in the new group that opened up, there is actually a section for you to be able to get some level of graphics and things to help you out. So there is I believe there is some things in there. If not, just get me in the suggestions box after the call as well, and we'll work something out. We'll totally work it out. Just in mind of time, and I know Chief obviously has a big day. Let's start the wrap up. So I'll just start grabbing closing statements, because obviously we've got a big speaker board. Crypto Psycho, did you have anything to contribute?
No, I'm just really looking forward to hearing everything when Mike and Matty get back, and hearing all the stories who they've made connections with. It's gonna be pretty interesting. And just to touch base on what you were just talking about with regards to getting Layer1X out there and explaining it to people and how it can solve problems. I think the easiest way to do it, because most people are the same. It's all down to infographics and visuals. So if they can look at listen to something or watch something, white papers are good, but people have a short attention span. If you just shove a video in front of someone's face and like the Stargate Finance comparison, that is the easiest way to make people realise how innovative this is. Because when they wrap their head around what it can do, then as long as they've got a bit of knowledge about blockchain and they understand how TVL works, the rest just falls into place organically. It might take a while to sink in, but then they get the light bulb moment then, and they'll realise how powerful what L1X is all about. So to me, it's just getting everyone to watch that video, because it's that aha moment.
Yeah, I think the beauty of this project is that it can actually tap into the global crypto market, which is like 1 trillion. It's not just specifically for new people. It's for a market that's already there, and it can actually talk to basically the whole thing, which is pretty massive.
Definitely. One thing I was thinking about yesterday as well, there's quite a lot of, I don't know how this would apply with L1X, because it's a different type of airdrop by being a validator with the mobile devices, but there's quite a lot of websites out there that get a hell of a lot of traction, especially from people from like developing countries, because there's websites that basically just push out airdrops. So they'll have all the links and all the data on all the different projects that are doing all the airdrops for like all over different platforms. Well, if L1X could be on all of those, you'd probably they might not necessarily buy L1X, buy into it. I mean, you will get some that will, but I think you'll get virtually a really, really high conversion rate, where once L1X goes live, or when the wallet's dropped, I think you'll get a really high conversion rate where people download the wallet to be a validator on the network. And I think that's what we want. We want them validators as well, more than anything else.
Absolutely. The more the merrier, I think, is the brand or the global message here from this. I guess, Chief, if we want to get a wrap-up statement from you as we start to wind down.
Back out in all the noisy area at the moment. So, look, I'm just going to reiterate what I said earlier, that it's really over our community sharing their mind. Everybody can sharpen the dirt and treat those things, get one-on-one conversations. Community can do exactly the same thing. Talking about share those videos, Crypto Slipo, what he said. Start sharing out those videos. He's done some fantastic videos out there. Watch them, share them, get them out there.
Awesome, definitely. I think we can all echo that. The more we work together, the more we can get it out there to everybody else, definitely. More likes, more shares, more content out there, more eyes on it. That's definitely the key. Any last wrap-ups from you, James, Grover, Sam?
Yeah, with that node content, we will look into that. I've done a little bit of stuff on it, but I think that could be really good to get some new users. So good shout out, Crypto Psycho. For me, it's not really a shout out. It's more of just like a soft request. So like, I want to see, and I know that we have like giveaways and stuff like this to support stuff, but like just out of the kindness of your heart, it would be sick to see the power of the community. If you guys who are on the call could all just today share one link from our website and put it on socials, tag us if you want. And let's just see what happens with the reach and see if it makes a difference. It would be really cool to see something like that today. There's like 25 of us on the call. The multiplication there, 25 to 50 to 100. Like if everyone's just one extra, it would be really cool. I think on these days we should do that all the time. Share this. I upload it to YouTube after, share it around. People will listen. Just keep sharing, because our reach is only so far, which is quite big, but then we've all got our own reach as well, whether that's big or small. So if we all want this project to be successful, reach and sharing is how we'll get there.
Perfect. And Sam?
Yeah, and I think touching on what James said, it doesn't really matter how many subscribers or how many followers do you have, as long as you're pushing out quality content. So it doesn't need to be a big 25 long thread. You can post a simple tweet about L1X explaining what it does in a few lines. If you need help with the resources and stuff like that, we have dedicated channel for those. If you still want something extra, you can always jump in the suggestions channel. You can open a ticket. You can directly reach out to either me, Joe, or James, or anyone from the team or the moderators team.
Awesome. So thanks everybody from the community for jumping on. Obviously, It's excellent having Cheap in here as well to give us a bit more feedback from what's going on over there. Maybe next time, I think if we can put some questions out to the community first, so you guys can come with feedback, that might be good feedback from us to have you guys more involved, and that way we've got a bit more talking points as well. So just ideas like that, I think, are really important for you guys to discuss with us as well, because like I said, this is your community. We want this to be the best it can be possible, so that we can obviously elevate this whole project. And like James says, get it out to everybody, and one person knows one more person. That becomes, what is it, the 6 points of separation. You know everybody. I think that's the idea. So yeah, if we can leverage off that and we get it out there by Christmas, this is a totally different beast. But once again, everybody, thanks for jumping on. We really appreciate you taking the time, once or twice a week to hang out with us in the lives. And we will see you on the next one. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Harold.
Cheerio.
Catch you later.